Hello everyone, as promised to all of you, today we are doing the day 15th of PSIR crash course 100 days, 100 topics for UPSC mains 2026. And you all know that what we have completed till now. Okay, and you will be surprised and you will be amazed that we have been doing it as rigorously, as disciplined that you have to also inculcate in yourself if you're preparing for the UPSC examination. You require lots of discipline, you require lots of preciseness, you require lots of consistent effort. The consistency, the discipline, the smart work, the focus is a key, is a very important keys to crack the UPSC examination. Don't be disheartened if you are like have not qualified the prelims. A lot of life is there, a lot of efforts you can put from today. Okay, for that purpose, you can be a part of my classes, tests, mentorship. The description with regard to the details and the number are given below. You can just go ahead and call and be a part of my classes, mentorship and test series. That is going to be very, very influential for your mains cutoff also, and will become your ranking subject. Why? Because you all know that PSIR is very, very interconnected to our life, whether it is international relations. At the time the Prime Minister Modi ji has come to the taken the Prime Ministership, we are listening about him in all the media channels all the time, and politics is very close to us. It is in our genes because we have been a part of a democratic society. Okay, right. So today we are talking about something related to international relations. Today we are talking about G7 here, G7, and yesterday the meeting was held, and these are all why I'm skipping it, why I'm trying to scroll it, because you should know that we have not left any day unturned. We are turning for you and you have to turn for us, okay, not to make sure the best possible utilization of the courses and the whatever I am saying to you. Obviously, whatever we are discussing on the YouTube, it is very, very crisp. Okay, you have to make sure that you become a part of my mentorship and test series and classes. Then you can also take test series and mentorship only, and classes you can take separately. That is also there. Okay, it's up to you. But the only thing is that rigorous answer writing practice, if you are not doing rigorous answer writing practice, 300 to 400 mains model question and answer, if you're not practicing, then it is very, very difficult. You need to have me beside you who is always telling you that yes, this is the introduction, this is the body, these are the points you have left, these are the challenges you have left, you have not touched this point, this is very important, these areas are important, these are the keywords. If I'm not there with you, because you are having only topics to be learned, right? In the topics, what are the important areas? If you're not knowing it, what kind of question or answer you are going to write in the examination, that is more important. Please, okay, try to put it in your minds that it requires lots of revision, because John Locke we are having, Rousseau we are having, Karl Marx we are having, M.N. Roy we are having, Gandhi ji we are having. Everyone talked about some or the other way. It looks all similar. Okay, they talked about socialism, they talked about women emancipation, they talked about removal of poverty, they talked about democracy, they talked about liberty, they talked about freedom, they talked about that economic decentralization, they talked about political decentralization. Everyone talked about all of these good things, whatever is there in our constitution. But the problem is that, okay, he has talked about fundamental rights, he has talked about DPSP, he has talked about fundamental duties, he has talked about decentralization, he has talked about corporate federalism. So that is where the student may lack the focus. That is where I am stepping in, to make sure that you are very thorough. Because यही बात होगी ना कि मेरे मुंह से कुछ बात हो गई तो आप किसी और को जाके बोलेंगे तो आप बोलेंगे कि इन्होंने ही ऐसा बोला है, तभी वो सही होगा, राइट? आप ऐसे नहीं बोलेंगे नहीं कोई मुझे कुछ बोला था मुझे याद नहीं है. सो नो वन टेक्स केयर ऑफ इट, राइट? सो जिसकी जुबान से जो बात निकलती है वही बात आपको, ओके, वही दूसरों को पहुंचाना है. ओके, सो इम्पॉर्टेंट यही है कि यू कैन नॉट से दैट कि मुझे नहीं पता, मुझे सिर्फ आवाज़ आई थी, मुझे इन चारों में से किसने बोला, ओके, कोई नहीं, मे बी समवन हैज सेड. ऐसा नहीं होना है, ठीक है? You have to be very precise. That is the essence. That is what PSIR becomes very, very what I say is that challenging. Why? Because these इतने लोग हैं, और समझो आपके मामा हैं, आपके चाचा हैं, आपके डैड है, आपके मॉम है, आपके बड़े बहन है, आपके खाला है, ये सब है, और सब आपसे अच्छे बातें बोल रहे हैं. तो आपको कैसा पता होगा कि किसने क्या बात बोली है? तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि मम्मी घर में कल्चर की बात करती हैं, डैडी बेसिकली बात करते हैं कि प्रोफेशनल की बात करते हैं, चाचा सोशलाइजिंग की बात करते हैं, खाला बात करेंगे, प्यार मोहब्बत की बात करते हैं, तो एक्सेट्रा। तो अलग अलग लोग अलग अलग बात करते हैं ना, तो वही आपको बोलना है। ओके, दैट इज व्हाट द एसेंस ऑफ PSIR इज ऑल अबाउट। इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन अगर हम G7 पढ़ रहे हैं तो ऑब्वियसली G7 में यही पढ़ेंगे, तो इंडिया तो इसमें मेंबर है ही नहीं, तो इंडिया क्यों जा रहा है बार बार G7 में? क्या इंडिया इतना पावरफुल हो गया है? क्या इंडिया सच में विश्व गुरु बन गया है? इज इट लाइक दैट? सो व्हाट आर वी गोइंग टू डू हियर? दैट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट। ओके, व्हाई आर वी गोइंग टू दिस पर्टिकुलर G7? वी आर नॉट ए member of it. We have been calling. Last time we were called by Canada. This time the France president is saying that no sir, Modi ji, you have to come. You have to come. If you are there only, our meeting will go on. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. Okay, but that is how it is. Okay, so we should be understand that in the geopolitics, ये हो गया हमारा यूरोप, ये हो गया अपना अफ्रीका, this is North America, this is South America, this is Australia, this is Japan. Why India is become very much relevant? Why India becomes very important part for the Western countries? Why? Because remember this point. अब मैं बोलूंगा आपको सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट खास बात बोलूंगा, ठीक है? अच्छा, यहाँ पे ड्रॉ करके आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू क्यों ये हमारे पीछे पड़े हैं, क्यों ये सच में ही पीछे पड़े हैं, ये क्या चाहते हैं अपने से, क्या इनका कुछ दे हैव दे एनी सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट? ओके, दैट वी आर सर्विंग व्हाट इज व्हाट? बिकॉज जापान को लिखना बहुत जरूरी है, इट्स अ वेरी बिग कंट्री, सो मुझे डॉट डालना ही है, आई हैव टू पुट द डॉट। वाई? बिकॉज जापान इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, वी कैन नॉट लीव जापान। सो हियर आवर USA is sitting very bad in drawing, even though I have taken botany as my subject. Okay, in my graduation I am a very bad drawing. Okay, this is the European countries, this is Africa, this is North America, this is South America. Please excuse me for this bad drawing. This is Australia, this is हमारा महान भारत है यहाँ पे। अब देखिए, okay, the very much the country which is very much close to is Pakistan, कुछ है ही नहीं इसमें। अफगानिस्तान, nothing is there. Bangladesh, nothing is there. China, this is where the China come. The dragon enters here. The dragon enters here. Remember this point. If you come across अफगानिस्तान के बाजू क्या है? Okay, ईरान, okay, इराक है, इराक के बाजू ईरान, okay, ईरान एंड पाकिस्तान का फिर वो एक बॉर्डर है obviously. See, I'm not trying, I'm just saying. So just imagine a point here that the European countries and the USA, यहाँ पे ऐसी कौन सी कंट्री है so that they can have contacts? लेकिन उनके लिए कुछ कंट्री ही नहीं है, बिकॉज बांग्लादेश इज नॉट पावरफुल ओवर अस। ओके, पाकिस्तान हम तो हरा ही चुके हैं बहुत बार। तो यहाँ पे टू कंटेन चाइना देयर इज ओनली वन कंट्री इज देयर विच इज गोइंग टू बी ए रीजनल लीडर। यहाँ के हम लीडर तो ऑलरेडी हैं। अफगानिस्तान, पाकिस्तान, बांग्लादेश, नेपाल, भूटान, श्रीलंका क्या ही कर लेंगे? व्हाट दे कैन डू टू अस? दे कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग मिलिट्री वाइज, दे कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग इकोनॉमिकली, दे कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग। वी हैव ए रिच सिविलाइजेशन which has okay, actually we have given to the South Asian nations. Okay, what can Myanmar do with us? So we are very powerful with our neighbors. Okay, and we are the only country which is like able to give a very good contention to what? China. That is the reason USA and Western European countries wants that India should be there with all of us. Okay, the only thing is that अगर आपका कोई दुश्मन है, अगर ए का कोई दुश्मन है बी, तो हमें एक सी पावरफुल पर्सन चाहिए कि हम इसके साथ रहें, इसके साथ मजे करें, तो बी देखता रहेगा। ओके, इन पूरे मिलके है तो आई हैव टू बी क्वाइट। तो चाइना इज बीइंग क्वाइट। व्हाई? बिकॉज इट गॉट ए सपोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया विद रिगार्ड टू व्हाट? ऑब्वियसली वी विल नॉट सपोर्ट एनी काइंड ऑफ जेनोसाइड, वी विल नॉट सपोर्ट एनी काइंड ऑफ अनजस्ट लॉज, अनजस्ट रूल्स, रेगुलेशन which has been formulated nowadays in UNSC. It is not going to happen. Clear my point, right? Let us now go ahead and talk about the G7. India is not a member of G7 grouping. Obviously we know that. Yes, yet फिर से once again this year Prime Minister Narendra Modi has invited to attend the summit. उनको बुलाया गया है मोदी जी को, okay, और वो जाके आए भी हैं। इवान लेस ब्रेन्स में हो रही है। दिस इज वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट एंड ब्यूटीफुल सिटी ऑफ फ्रांस। वहां जैसे कि अर्थ समिट होती थी रियो डी जेनेरियो। In the same way, the invitation, why India has been called big? Because the invitation has come from the host country, France, with President Emmanuel Macron formally inviting Prime Minister Modi ji. So you might be wondering that, okay, Modi ji has went to the France, he has to meet Emmanuel Macron. But why this picture I have put here? My dear students, very, very important point. The seating arrangement you can see here. What Prime Minister Modi ji is saying, okay, this will be translated by the person coming from Donald Trump, what Modi ji is what Donald Trump is saying, this will be translated by our Indian translator to Prime Minister Modi ji. So that is how they will sit just beside to each other, क्योंकि language problem को निकालना है. Obviously, the invitation came from the host country only. Significantly, this will mark Modi's 7th consecutive participation. Okay, Modi ji is always going to the G7 summit, G7 and 7th participation. How nice the rhyming has happened. Okay. So as because India has been being called again and again, okay, though not a member of G7, does this signal that India has moved from being a quest invitee to becoming an indispensable partner for the G7? Okay, guest invitee के जैसा आ रहे थे. Okay, ऐसे मेहमान के जैसा बुला रहे थे. Is it like that? मेहमान को रोज थोड़ी बुलाएंगे. Do we call the relatives? Do we call our known person again and again? No, that's not gonna happen, right? Okay, we will call a person again and again. Even our marriages only, we understand that they are important. They are important. That's the reason this clearly shows to the Western and the world that okay, India is not a guest invitee. India has to be with us. So it makes India very stronger among the Western world, that without it, okay, we cannot have an eye on the geopolitics of Asia. We cannot have a, okay, what I say is that any initiatives to be working out there without such support. So why the important point, so you can see that Evian 2026, that is G7 said, and Prime Minister Modi ji, you know that there was a ASEAN summit was there. Okay, Donald Trump went in the ASEAN summit. Prime Minister Modi ji did not go. Prime Minister Modi ji recently went to a summit. I exactly don't remember which was. Okay, Donald Trump did not go. So they are doing what? Chupa chupi they खेल रहे थे. Like they are doing like impress, we call it as like that. Once upon a time, hide and seek they were playing. Now all G7 they have looked each other. Okay, they did not hug this time. They were only at the handshake. Why? Because Prime Minister Modi ji is saying that, okay, what are you doing? You are sometimes saying don't buy Russian oil. You are sometimes saying don't make a port in the Iran Chabahar port. You are sometimes saying that so many things which are interfering in our sovereignty, We are a sovereign nation. Who are you to dictate us? We are not saying obviously like that, but our gestures, our behavior is properly being sent. Ye signals are Modi ji se. Okay, before he used to smile, Modi ji used to smile and look at the Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is just looking at Modi ji and saying that, oh my God, you don't even smile looking at me. So he was very shocked here. Why? Because Modi ji is saying, yeah, it's not possible with me. Why? Because what are you doing with us? Again, dictating terms, we are not liking it. Our political dispensation is very happy. Then Donald Trump is actually okay looking at Modi ji and thinking, is it that okay, my friend Modi ji is also a friend of what Italian Prime Minister. Okay, these two Prime Ministers are very important to me because they are always together in the form of what? Melody and Meloni. Okay, jokes apart, let us go ahead. But this is a situation at this point of time. They are friends, but still they are at this point. Okay, unfriend friends they are. Okay, that's why no hasi madakh. Okay, no what I say is that cool gestures are not there, right? Okay, what is G7? Let us come to the topic now. Its members, its members are among the world's wealthiest large democracy. Wealthiest, बहुत पैसे वाले देश है ये. Close allies and major trading partners that account for substantial slice of global economy. If this is all 100% global economy, if we take the G7, so this much slice will be coming from this G7 countries. They are the wealthiest country. Wealthiest means everyone is having lots of money. The country is very big, technologically advanced, military advanced, sustainably advanced. Okay, all the important basic needs and wants has been given to each and every citizen. That's why they are the developed nations too. Okay, the G7 is an informal grouping of wealthy nation. Informal, why we are saying? Because it has not been endorsed by United Nations. Okay, it's an informal grouping. Like दोस्त मिलकर ट्रिप चले गए. अगर कॉलेज से भिजाते थे तो फॉर्मल होता था, कॉलेज वाले तो नहीं भिजाए. Okay, informal grouping of wealthy nation. It has no permanent secretariat or legal status is not there. Okay, there are no provisions, no articles, nothing is there. बस मिलो, chill करो और कुछ अच्छे बातें करो और चले जाओ. No serious things also happens in G7, just like we don't have any kind of seriousness with regard to many of our multilateral blocks. लिप्सा तो वैसी पड़ी हुई है बेकार में, बेसिक भी वैसी पड़ी हुई है. Sometimes we hear about good things with regard to SAARC, and because of SAARC is also not doing well, now we are having what? BRICS, on which we are relying a lot nowadays. Its member state are United States and Britain. Okay, so याद रखना है कि Okay, so North America, you are having two, both of them, Canada and USA is there. Okay, then you can see that in all of them, or the rest of them are from what? European continent, except for Japan. So Italy, Germany, France, Britain, all of them are, these four are from the European nations, and one is Japan. So ये यहाँ पे USA जापान ने US ने जापान पे बॉम्ब गिराया था, तो जापान and USA are already there. Okay, then Canada is anyhow there. In between you are having what? European nations. Please remember, Germany, France, Italy, UK. How can you forget the British Empire? You cannot. How can you forget the Hitler? You cannot. How can you forget the Mussolini? You cannot. How can you forget the Meloni? You cannot. Right or wrong? Yes, like that you remember, that is more than enough, my dear students. Okay, its members are United States, Britain, Canada, France, Germany, Italy and Japan. But how I have given you the sequence, like that only you have to remember. The European Union is a full member. 28 nations are there, represented by the head of economic European Commission. They will come, and chairman of EU also sits with all of them. But leaders, but because UAE is not a single nation but a block of 27, the name of G7 never change. The name of G7 never change. Please remember this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, instead of Germany, France, Japan, Italy, they have got what? European Commission altogether. So G7 plus European Commission. Okay, so this is your introduction in your mains answer writing. Please remember this point. Okay, you have to write this in the introduction. Okay, what is G7? G7 refers to the members who are the wealthiest, like that. You have to write like that, and then you have to cover this one. Then you have to cover this one, and you can remove the last line. That is your introduction. Please remember this. Now, Russia was once upon a time was there in the year 1997. It became G8, but 2014 Russia invaded what? Crimea. Then they have Russia has removed from the G7. It has now become what? G7 only. Rest of things are not important for the examination. Don't study. Okay, how long it has been around? It was founded in the year 1973. Okay, following the OPEC oil embargo as a forum for the richest nations to discuss crises affecting the world economy. What topics are discussed by the G7? The original group was set up to discuss the potential solutions to global economy. Okay, what problems are there in the global economy? Financial problems such as oil crisis. So G7 is purely economic body. Okay, today also they only talk about economy. Today also they only talk about what? Finance, etc. They don't talk about political aspects or political agenda in the G7. That is very good. At least a platform is there which is away from war and crimes. That is important. Okay, now why India matters to them? Why India does not matters to anyone? You tell me that. If you want to come to, अगर मेरे मोहल्ले में आना है, ओके, मेरे घर में आना है, तो मेरे मोहल्ले से जाना पड़ेगा, राइट? तो वो है यहाँ पे. अगर एशिया में कुछ करना है तो इंडिया से जाना पड़ेगा. रिमेंबर दिस पॉइंट. इंडिया हैज ऑलवेज स्टडीली एंड स्लोली एज राइजिंग नेशन हैज पोजीशन इटसेल्फ एज द वॉइस ऑफ द ग्लोबल साउथ. मीन्स दिस इज द इक्वेटर के नीचे, डाउन, वॉट एवर द कंट्रीज आर देयर इन द इक्वेटर, बिलो इक्वेटर, इंडिया इज द वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी, वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट मिलिट्री पावर हियर. दैट्स वाई slowly, steadily we have become what? The voice of the global south. If any country wants any kind of help, we are very fastest dispatching what? Humanitarian aid. We are giving. Sri Lanka को पैसे दिए, परसों नेपाल को पैसे दे रहे, अपन म्यांमार को पैसे देते, बांग्लादेश. Every country will give money and will give humanitarian technology, military support, and we are being protecting Indian peacekeeping missions are there. We are protecting Maldives. We are protecting many number of countries. Okay, by running the peacekeeping missions in the global south. Also, India is not a small country, my dear students. India steadily positioned itself as a voice of the global south. Okay, diplomatic bridge it has made with the with the global north, which is wealthiest. Global south is unveiled. We are a bridge. Exactly, हम भी इक्वेटर पे ठहर के है. Okay, how beautiful the God has given us the what position कि ऊपर पूरे है developed nations, नीचे पूरे है underdeveloped nations. So we are acting as a bridge between Western economies and the developing world of the global south. In the recent years, if you see, by pushing issues central to the global south, such as climate finance, G7 food security and fair debt restructuring, G7 agenda, New Delhi, that is Prime Minister Modi ji, has helped ensure the forum remains globally inclusive rather than narrowly Eurocentric. So going again and again, it makes sure that G7 is very much democratic, very much inclusive, and make sure that other countries are also part of this wealthiest nation grouping. Okay, instead of just being what? A narrow narrowly European centric. Additionally, the world's most populous nation of Earth's fifth largest economy, India remains central to the Western efforts. If they want to diversify the global supply chain, okay, they have to go think away from China. And thinking away from China, the only country, because they can never engage with Russia, they at least engage with what China. But if China is not there, how can they manage the geopolitics of the Asian and South Asian and Southeast Asian nations? They cannot. This area is completely gone with them. So if they want little bit anything from this particular area, even little bit, they want what India. So that's why in order to make sure that if they want to go away from China, then their only option they are left with what India. China plus one. China के अलावा भी, China के बजाय भी और एक country चाहिए जहां पे हम rely कर सकते हैं, जहां पे we can make our global supply chain strengthened. That is why India becomes important. So you have to remember voice of the global south. You have to remember that in the recent years, India has been endorsing many of the climate change, food security things what that has been given by the G7 agendas. And the Western world is looking for any other partner apart from China, to make sure that their supply chain remains what? Undisrupted. Okay. And it also India is militarily, technologically, okay, and war related humanitarian aids and humanitarian whatever the helps India extends to all the global south, and making is one of the important superpower in the global south, and also in the very important nations, for the safety and security of what Indian Ocean, from the ocean to the Pacific, a free route should be there. So all of these you can write in the examination. Okay. What is China plus one strategy? The China plus one strategy is a supply chain approach that encourages companies like Tata, encourages Amazon, etc., so and so forth, to reduce over dependence on China by developing at least one additional manufacturing source base. For that purpose, Government of India has also launched global capability centers. Also, you can see that, and we are also having sales names, etc., where they can come and they can invest. Thereby, they don't want to concentrate. They don't want to be risked only by one country. They want to spread the risk. The approach began to take shape around 2013. Okay, the Prime Minister Modi ji also coming at a time into the limelight of political scenario amid concerns over world's growing reliance on China. It has since gained momentum due to trade tensions, COVID-19 disruptions, rising labor costs in China, etc., so and so forth. Countries such as India, Vietnam has emerged as very key alternative destinations for the global companies looking to diversify beyond China. Beyond China के अलावा भी एक global supply chain they wanted to build, and for that purpose they have chosen what, because they are wealthy people, they can choose it. Okay, just like you are having a lot of money, you can choose to whom to marry. Okay, which is not the possible other way around. I hope this is all clear to you. I'll be seeing you in the day 16 tomorrow. Take care. Have a nice day. Do join the courses, tests, and mentorship. You can take in a part, but also not a problem. But make sure that you are associated with me to score high. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye bye.